This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No. Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're
Hi.
talking. How's it going? We're talking behind the scenes. We're very passionate about food. We're not going to
Yes.
talk about
Wow.
food, but
Yes.
we were really getting into it.
Erica
yeah.
just told me about a Thai place, and I'm literally like bubbling inside. I
Yes.
cannot wait.
I am so picky.
mine.
When a restaurant's been open for, I've been in Denver for 15 years, and the restaurant's been thriving for 15 years, family owned, and they know you by name when you walk in.
Old school. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
All right,
Yes.
little tip: if you're ever in Denver, hit up Erica. She'll give you all the
Yeah.
hot spots.
We will.
Let's get to some celebrity stories. Denise Richards is the latest celebrity to land a new reality show. The E! Network announced that Denise and her family will have a show next year. The working title is Denise Richards and the Wild Things, which is a reference to her 80s movie, Wild Things. 90s movie. Yeah, sorry. Denise has 2 adult daughters with her ex Charlie Sheen and a 13-year-old daughter. It's not clear if Charlie will make an appearance on the show. They were married for 4 years before divorcing back in 2006. And last week, Alec Baldwin announced he was launching a new reality show with his wife and 7 children.
Now, do we know what network, Denise?
E.
Oh, it's E.
Yes.
Okay. So Denise Richards, for those of y'all who aren't big Bravo-holics, made her debut on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills a few years back. Now, there was a lot of tension with the ladies because it turns out that Denise was one of the highest paid housewives in the Housewife franchise, and she hadn't really done anything to earn that other than be Denise Richards, which to me was enough. She
I'll
didn't
push
make-
back on that. Starship Troopers. Show some respect.
What are you pushing back on?
He thinks Starship Troopers
Denise
is a
Richards
good
is in a
movie.
lot of guys me and Jeff say is
Oh,
hard.
no, I'm not saying that she didn't deserve it, but it caused
I
tension
was
with
just
the
kidding,
other
I was
ladies. Yes. Yeah, it caused tension with the other ladies. And in that environment, she wasn't really thriving, so she quit the show. And she was making, reportedly $2 million a season.
Wait, you watch those shows. Isn't tension good?
Is what?
Isn't tension good for those reality shows,
Yeah, but
especially
they
the
were
Housewives?
coming for her because imagine, one of us is making $2 million and everybody else is making what we're making. How would that go?
No, I could see how that
Right.
caused some tension. And I don't want to speculate, but wasn't she kind of inebriated in some of those?
I think
Again, isn't that good?
Again, I'm getting there, but
She
everything's
took
so.
herself out of it. She did take herself out of it. She quit the show. There were some moments where we might have asked, what's happening here?
But I think people want to watch, to Al's point, they want to watch a train wreck.
I thought that was the only point of these shows.
It felt a little dangerous with Denise
Oh,
Richards.
okay.
She got a little one dinner. I couldn't tell if she was stoned or high.
It
or
was a cannabis dinner by the.
Okay.
I'm speaking of one in particular. I don't watch the show, but I did see some clips.
And she was
where
like,
didn't
wait,
look right.
maybe it was a stoner dinner and maybe I'm off. But I think she's also now does OnlyFans. And she and her daughter both do OnlyFans, but they don't do it together. We did some research on that.
Yeah.
What do you
That's
guys,
not that daughter. Or,
Right.
Maybe that daughter.
I don't know.
Let's hope. I think the other one's younger. so-
I don't have an account.
Right.
But that's what they're doing now, and I think a lot of people are.
I want to ask you guys, do you think that there's an appetite for these shows? Because reality shows were like, oh my gosh, this movie star is a normal person, or they bicker with their spouse. But now we see that on Instagram Live and things like that. So is there still the appetite for reality shows to exist? Because we kind of know what you look like in street clothes.
I think so for certain people. I think that Denise Richards being on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and it going the way that it did probably created more of an appetite for it because she'll have to be more forthcoming. She was very much going after Erica Jane, who's another housewife, for coming for her family. And Erica's response after a while was, who makes more money on OnlyFans, you or your daughter?
Ooh.
Now, things like that.
I will do it.
It's a little awkward.
Opened up a lot of questions, and I think there is a curiosity factor. And I would watch it.
I would. I'm not watching the Baldwins one, but I'll watch this one.
I'll tell you what, you throw Charlie Sheen in a couple episodes, you just upped your viewership because people want to
Yeah.
see what he's up
Totally.
to. Is he still the same Charlie Sheen?
Hashtag
people
winning.
tune into that.
Yeah.
And
Very
also
true.
to hope something train wrecky happens.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's such an anomaly. I saw him on what, Bookies with
Oh yeah,
Sebastian.
Maniscalco.
He's a good little
Yeah.
actor, isn't he? I think he's a
Good
good
little
actor.
actor?
Yeah, I always say he's a good actor.
Sebastian or Charlie?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Both, but Charlie's good.
He's been around for like
Charlie
40 years.
Sheen.
Yeah, I just realized now he walks out to Major League to Wild Thing, which is Wild Things, her movie.
I can't believe you put that together.
Okay.
It's very strange.
Only on DBL. All right, the number of sex scenes in major movies has gone down over the past 2 decades. The Oscar-winning film Poor Things got a lot of attention last year for its sex and nudity scenes. And Saltburn was another film that went viral for some of its graphic sex scenes. But films like these are on the decline for some reason. A new study says the number, I just ad-libbed some reason. Like, I want more. The number of sex scenes in major films has dropped by 40% since the year 2000. Recently, actors like Mahershala Ali and Penn Badgley have taken a stand against filming sex scenes. Actress Blake Lively and Julia Roberts refused to shoot graphic sex scenes, and SJP has a no nudity clause in her contracts. And even when I was kind of coming up in this business 25 years ago, they would, when you auditioned, they'd put like, "Are you willing to do sex scenes?" So that was
I
the
did
case
too.
all the way back then. So
Did you feel pressure to say yes or no?
I did kind of, sometimes I left it open just because I'm like, I just need a job. You know what I mean? And I don't want that to limit me, but not like I was going to go out and do pornography or anything like that. But I think when you're a big time actor or actress, you're calling the shots.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, that was something that you were told, may have been told to do too, because nudity could also preclude you from doing like a Dove soap commercial. So it's not
Totally.
necessarily.
I
Yeah,
put
so if
yes
you say
every
no,
time.
Then it's like, you know, it becomes something else. My theory was, especially when we were talking about the younger heterosexual male audience, someone brought up something about J-Lo's movie Atlas and how it was geared towards younger heterosexual males, but there was no nudity or sexualization. And I just feel like this generation grew up with so much access to nudity and pornography, and it's like almost like when your child or your family's like, hey, we have wine at dinner every once in a while, you're not as apt to binge drink because this has kind of just been a natural thing all your life. So I think that nudity and sex, they're just not as puritanical as we were, so there isn't a need.
They're also not as sexual. There's a lot more asexuality within the younger group. There's a lot more pairing off and sections of sexuality within that group. There's also intimacy coordinators now, so movies have to put in a budget expense for that. So there's a lot more to a sex scene that there was before. And I don't know, I don't know. I remember the slivers and the basic instincts and the fatal attractions. I don't know if that would play in like this social climate. I wouldn't be opposed to watching it, but I think the next generation might. I don't know.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
All right, coming up on DBL, does Courtney Cox win the online 80s dance trend? Tori Shulman will be filming hers after this show. And we're talking with a woman who discovered her father was a serial killer. Soft turn here. Will she ever be able to forgive him after he reached out from prison? Welcome back. There's a trend taking over TikTok. Kids are asking their parents to take on the 80s dance challenge and show them how they bust a move. Back then, it's so popular, some stars are trying it right now. So like Courtney Cox, who showed off her iconic 80s dance moves. Let's watch.
Dancing was so tame. Just the Carlton.
Well,
like,
it was before there was color.
yeah.
I actually kind of like those moves. I do kind of like the old school, because I guess I still like breakdancing. I like dances where people used to dance by themselves.
Oh my God.
At a club, like somebody would be like, oh, there's some girls over here. Get them out of my way so I can dance. Like it was like really like your own situation. It's so weird.
I just remember how much pressure there would be to like just dance at like a party. Like we had this big event that when we were probably like 12, 13, and there would be all these people and they would be doing their individual dances, but then if like a boy would come up the girls would like push you and be like dance, and I would just like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do?
There was a lot of pressure to dance.
Weird.
Yes.
Totally.
Now nobody dances.
There was a lot of pressure to learn some house party moves.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of trends, hot rodent men are taking over the internet. That's right, this is real. They're described as men with beady eyes, unkept hair, and pale skin.
It's Jeff.
Hey, if it's hot, I'm on it. Timothy Chalamet seems to be the hot rodent poster boy.
That's my
His
favorite
character
segment.
Dune was even nicknamed after a mouse. The Challenger stars were even given their own mouse memes.
I could see that.
That's good on the
One
left.
was compared to the famous cartoon Stuart Little. There he is on the right side there. The bear actor Jeremy Allen White is also a hot rodent guy.
Yeah.
So is Taylor Swift's ex Matt Healy from the 1975.
Little ratty. Yeah.
Yes,
What about
absolutely.
Barry Keoghan? I think he's almost the hottest of the rat men.
Who's that?
He's the guy from Saltburn, Banshees of Inisherin.
He looks like a cartoon mouse, though.
He's dating Sabrina. I don't know if our audience knows Sabrina Carpenter.
See, I went a different route, maybe because when I was in Mexico City, when we got in the cab, it was an hour ride to the hotel, and the cab driver put on Bruno Mars track 1 to track 16, and so Bruno Mars to me looks like a mouse man. He looks like a cool mouse lounge singer.
It's interesting because all of them, they have more smaller faces.
Yes.
Would that be the
yes.
And I
that's
think
it.
we're used to seeing a broader structure,
Like the Arnold
face.
Schwarzeneggers and the these guys are they seem more French.
More
you know what
mouse
I'm saying?
man.
More European.
More Ratatouille.
I mean, I know
Ratatouille.
people love it. I just like a big.
You like a Roman Greek face, like Anthony.
Yeah, like a big nose, a big jaw, like yeah.
More,
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop that
more
list
of a
right there.
neutrina face. All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back. Melissa Moore's dad was living a double life. He was a trucker whose road trips became a killing spree, eventually landing him in prison. Now his daughter has turned her tragedy into advocacy, writing a book and producing multiple criminal documentaries. We spoke with her earlier.
Please welcome to DBL, Melissa Moore. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, Melissa. Thanks for being here. So when did you find out that your dad was a serial killer, and who told you?
So it was in 1995. We were told when my father was arrested, he had written a confessional letter that he sent to my grandfather, his dad. And in that letter, he says, "I am truly the black sheep of the family. I murdered 8 women, assaulted more." And obviously, I haven't seen that letter since 1995, but it's seared in my memory, that letter.
Can I ask you how that felt? I mean, I can't imagine there's a word for that emotion, but what was going through you at that time?
Shock, disbelief, and something that was really hard to articulate as a young woman was the intuition, the feeling that I would have that I wasn't safe. So with my father, I didn't feel safe around him, and that didn't logically make sense, but I now know hindsight why I felt that way. I mean, one of the last memories I have of my father is actually sitting down with him as a teenager about to get my driver's license, and we're at a diner, and he starts to tell me that he has something he needs to tell me, but if he tells me, then I'll go to the authorities. And I always look back to that last conversation I had with him before his arrest and wonder what would have happened if he did tell me.
Yeah. Wow.
You kind of answered my question, but looking back, besides that conversation, was there anything out of place? Like, you're like, something's off with my dad, just looking back in hindsight?
Well, there were many things, but I mean, my frame of reference was just my father. You know, your family unit is your frame of reference when you're growing up. And so I didn't know that what I was experiencing was abnormal. Let me see how I can articulate it. I knew it wasn't right. My father had an obsession with true crime. He would get true crime magazines. I would watch Unsolved Mysteries with my father, and he would say often, "I know how to kill someone and get away with it."
Wow.
I mean, those are just fragments. There's a lot more to share. There's all these little tiny pieces, little breadcrumbs along the way that when you put them all together, it now makes perfect sense, but in the moment, it doesn't.
You posted videos on TikTok sharing the letters that your dad sent to you from prison. What did he say to you in them?
Well, the letter that I posted on TikTok was a recent one. I had just gotten married, and I was surprised when I got a letter from my father. And the first thing, like you see in that video, is a picture of my husband and I on our wedding day. And when I open that letter and I see a picture of myself, I realized that my dad was following my life from a distance. And I decided I would share this letter publicly because I think it was just a way for me to express my shock. And it wasn't in a way to invoke pity. I didn't need pity from anybody. I just wanted to share, like, this is what my life looks like. Even now, 30 years later, he's still in my life and in a unique, bizarre way.
It's chilling, absolutely chilling. We only have about a minute left, but something else we wanted to ask you was about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, because we talk a lot about her on the show. You were an executive producer on her prison confessions. What surprised you the most about her story?
Yeah, so I met with Gypsy about 7 years ago, and I've been following her journey in prison. I found that she was a woman who was coming of age in prison. She was being raised by inmates or being taught about the world from other women inmates, and I found that really fascinating. And one thing that drew me to the true crime documentary space is, as a person who experienced, violence and trauma and crime, I always wanted a way to tell my story. And that's what I connected with Gypsy, is that she told me that everybody took her story and told it besides herself. And so I wanted to empower her to tell her own story.
Wow. Melissa, thank you so much for your transparency, for joining us. DBL Nation, you can listen to Melissa's story on the True Crime podcast and learn more about her projects on her social media site at Life After Crime. Thank you again, Melissa. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
The Caribbean is calling you. This June, we're celebrating Caribbean Heritage Month with Sandals by giving away 2 all-inclusive vacations to any Sandals resort of your choice. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyblasslab.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2. The winner will be announced on DBL June 26. Make memories for a lifetime and start entering for your chance to win a trip to any Sandals resort. Today's word of the day is seafood.
Welcome back. We've got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out.
Steph, what do you have for us today? Let's go shopping.
Guess what this is? It is the Sharper Image Calming Heat Sauna Wrap. It provides a detox to sweat out toxins, it can burn calories, it can help your blood circulation, and it's also going to help you relax. So you simply lay inside of it and let your problems melt away.
Oh my God.
So normally this is $299, very expensive.
Yeah.
We've got it for $119.99. That is saving you guys 60%.
Fantastic, and a good price for that as well.
I know, fabulous,
Wow.
huh? Next up today, we've got the Cuisinart Advantage 6-piece ceramic coated nautical knife set. This holder that the knives are on, this wooden block, it does not come with the deal, only the knives.
Got it.
These professional quality stainless steel knives have got a cutting-edge non-stick coating that makes slicing so much easier. And what makes this set even better is that it comes with a lifetime warranty.
Ooh, I like that.
Normally, this 6-piece set is $65.
That's not bad, right?
We've got it for $19. That's saving 71%.
All of those knives.
I know. It's
For
really
19.
good. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this is so snazzy. Check this out. It is the No Modo wireless wearable Bluetooth speaker. It sits around your neck, right next to your ears. It easily connects to your smartphone, tablet, or any other Bluetooth device. Normally, this is $60.
Okay.
We've got it for $24.99.
Ooh, I like it.
It's saving 58%.
I love that.
Our last product today is the Caloric High Speed Nutrition Blender.
Ooh.
So not only is this great to make smoothies, but you can also make soups, salsas, dips, and so much more. And with the included lids, the blending container easily turns into a to-go cup. Normally this is $90.
Oh.
We've got it for $34.99. That's saving 61%.
This is great, and then you just have it to go. It could not be easy. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or just scan the QR code right on screen to take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph.
Allie, you found it at Blender?
I need the blender because I'm back and my smoothie game is back. It went away for like
It's
a year
summer.
and a half.
It's summer.
And then you make a smoothie and you're like, why haven't I?
Yeah,
Why
I
has this
agree.
not been in my life? So I saw the blender. I was like, that's the heavens saying it's time.
We can make that happen. I know somebody down there
Yes.
that might be able to help you
Some
out.
connections.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.